Fellas, ladies, you looking for lotions? You looking for beard oils? But unfortunately, everything you get from mainstream got chemicals in it and they're probably killing you? No problem, we got you. Go check out my people from Top to Bottom Hair and Skincare. That's Top to Bottom Hair and Skincare. www.top2bottom, BOTTU, the U is for unique, M.com. Tell them I sent you.
Hey, what's up, y'all? What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome. Once again, the Ron's opinion don't matter. Yes, we're gonna get into subjects as people start to come into the chat and we get ready to have fun with it. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure y'all hit the subscribe button. Appreciate it very, very much. And I hope y'all having a blessed, wonderful day. Hopefully, all is well in your world. God is good. God is good. God is good. God is good. I don't know if anybody been paying attention, but the stock market as a whole has been going wow crazy. Now I'm just joking around, but yes, it has. It's been you're a person that been investing for a while, and you've been, hey Jeanette, how you doing? God bless you. God bless you. If you're a person that's been investing like I am, and still is, and still will always looking for opportunity, you would know, and you would see the results of your investments, depending on where you invest and how you invest. But you was a person that, hey Joyce, how you doing? God bless you. Welcome in, welcome in. If you was a person that started investing, and I always go back to when Trump said this would be a good time to buy. And if you look at the stock market at that moment and look at the stock market right now as a whole, if you had money, you made a lot of money. If you had a little bit of money, you made some money. If you had a few dollars, you made a few dollars. But for me personally, it was just it's doing. Now today is not a real particular subject. I mean, whatever it is that we get into today, we get into. Don't know how it's going to go. Right now, I'm just talking about investing and stuff like that. And here's the thing. There's another thing I wanted to get into is this credit card situation, which I think a lot of times when the Trump administration is doing something, the good stuff kind of gets overshadowed. The good stuff starts to get overshadowed by all of the noise and the rhetoric out there. That's where, yeah, donuts, yeah, I had two of them already. What's up, top to bottom? How you doing? God bless you. Welcome in. And for those that are on the line, make sure y'all use the OG Network 26 promo code to get all your top to bottom purchases of $35 and up. That's OG Network 26 to get all your top to bottom purchases of $35 and up. You get a 15% discount, or a 15% discount. If you're not sure how to find the website is actually right here on this channel, the OG Network. Ron's opinion don't matter. You go right to my channel. You can find the website right there. Just click that button. It'll take you right to the website. Real talk. But and Joyce has touched on it right here, and this is why I wanted to get back to this. Starting, believe January 20th, there's going to be a freeze on all credit card interest rates, and I don't know if it's just credit card, but I think credit card is what he mentioned in the statement. They're going to freeze them at 10%, 10% across the board. Now, for those that have credit card debt, and you're trying to get out of credit card debt, you're trying to work your way out of credit card debt. And it's only going to be specifically, I think, for 1 year. Now, here's the thing. Some people get the credit card is such a trap, it ain't funny. Now, I'm not talking about people that got money to pay their credit cards. They kind of use their credit cards as a way of spending money. There is some benefit to having a credit card, but then there's some negatives to having a credit card. The interest rates and all their fees and stuff is the negative. But the benefits to having a credit card is this. And I'm going to go talk about this for a little bit, and then we'll go on to the other part. If you have credit cards, now I use my credit card, specifically one of them, for my online purchases. I don't use my bank card or none of that type of stuff. I use my one credit card for my online purchase. Why? Because I know that we got a lot of scammers and everybody's trying to steal, and there's so many people trying to do corrupt stuff that when I go purchase something online, I use my credit card. Now, don't get me wrong. Yeah, somebody can probably hack that and try to make some false purchases. But if someone hacks your bank account and you got bills and stuff, and the banks take forever to try to fix it if you get your money back or whatever, what's going to end up happening is if you got bills to pay, that's going to disrupt your financial everyday livelihood, and you might end up with a bigger, deeper problem. That's the reason why I use credit card. My credit card for online purchase, try to prevent people from having access to my bank account. Yes. Woo! 39.9%. That's crazy. That's crazy. Now, understanding this, the interest rates on credit cards are ridiculous. Now, everybody in the United States of America has different levels of how they're dealing with their credit card. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to tell y'all this. The best way, I'm not going to say it's the best way, but I'm going to tell you how I dealt with getting my credit card debt down, right? Because I had credit cards, and I still do, but I don't have like ridiculous, I don't have credit card debt to where it's out of control and I can't afford it. I can pay my bills and I don't have an issue. But let's just say you maxing out and you're dealing with credit card and it's almost to the point where it's overwhelming and you have to deal with it. What I usually do is I look at all of my credit card. Let's say I'm going to say you got 3 credit card payments you're making. Let's just say 3. We're going to use 3. This is all hypotheticals. This is not my situation, anybody's situation. I'm just saying you got 3 credit card debts, right? And let's just say each one of those credit card payments are $150, right? So every month, these 3 credit cards, you're paying $150 a month, right? Whatever it is you start, let's say you say, okay, my payment I'm going to make is $150. I make my $150. The next payment that comes up is, let's say it's a little less than $150, but you still going to make $150. My point to this is that whatever you start out paying, never change that. No matter how much that credit card payment start to lower, this is the one thing I always say, never change the amount that you're paying. If I started out paying $150, and let's just say I keep working that credit card debt down, now there's other, better, faster ways. I get it, but I'm just saying one of the simplest ways in my opinion. Once you start to nail that credit card debt down, don't change what you've been paying. So if, let's say you get to the point where the credit card payment is $100, don't change to $150. Just keep paying the $150. Never change that. Now, is that the fastest way? No. If you got extra money to pay it off, pay it off. If you got extra money to put more money, put more money. All of those things are big, great factors. But the one thing I just say is if you have a budget, whatever it is you start paying on that credit card, never stop the amount that you've been paying. That because you've already been paying it. You started out paying it. Stick to that budget, that payment. No matter how many times your credit card payment starts to go down, stick to the payment. Right, exactly. Because how the credit card company is always going to benefit is that the reason why they're lowering down the payment is to keep you in the debt longer. So they can keep making interest. They're not concerned about you. They will advertise it like they're doing you a favor and doing you stuff. No, they want your business. Especially if you're a person that is on the strap and they know you only going to be able to make the minimum payment on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you pay whatever it is you paying on the top end of that. Never stop that payment. So if it was 150, it was 200. Just stick to the 200. Now, yeah, it's still going to take you a while to get out of that debt. But if you don't change your payment habit, eventually the payment will go down. Eventually, more of your money will go to the principal as opposed to being sucked up by all the interest. But the fact that the Trump administration is putting a freeze on it at that 10% mark, this is a great opportunity for you to really try to hammer that credit card debt or make a dent as much as possible. But listen, I know that people in the United States of America are struggling. Don't get me wrong. We struggle. A lot of them. Now, don't get me wrong. I can honestly say that I'm not financially struggling. Does that mean I'm rich? No. Does that mean I got a lot of money? No. What it means is that our everyday expenses and what's left over is not that if there is something left over. You know what I mean? Now, don't get me wrong. I am a person that invests. I don't like idle money. I don't like my money to just sit there and just look. Oh yeah, I got no. If there's room to invest that money, I am going to invest that money. So my team, the one thing we're adamant about is that we don't like idle money. We're gonna find a way to make that money to keep making money. Yes, investing has this level of risk, but guess what? Everyday life is a risk. If you're on this live, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Appreciate it very, very much. And so I think that decision that the Trump administration made when it comes to freezing the interest rates is going to help Americans. Now, here's the thing. Again, why is it that this type of stuff, these type of decisions have been swept under the rug and no one gets to, and it's not put out there? All the other noise, Trump bad guy, ICE bad people, bad people, bad people. All of those distractions is what they doing is to keep you unfocused from the things that could actually affects your life, especially if you have credit card debt. And a year gonna go by because you're so busy paying attention to the noise that you're gonna miss the opportunity to clear up some debt. Because again, they're telling you hate the bad guy, but it's opposed to saying, look, wait, no, look, forget all that. Look what the bad guy did. Even if you still think you're a bad guy, look what he's trying to do. Look what he's doing. When this goes into effect, you need pay attention to this. This may help you financially. You can hate the person all you want, but this may help you financially. So pay attention to this. But again, captivated by the noise and the rhetoric, again, you're going to get distracted and you're not going to get the benefit. That's what's going to keep happening over and over and over. And now here's the thing. In RD, I agree with you. Be wise in your spending. The one thing that these credit card companies, retail companies, and all this stuff, they study people's spending habits. And they know how to get you to spend. You don't even realize you're doing it, and you don't realize you was coached in it. The one thing that they love is in people that are impulsive. They know how to make what you like. They know how to advertise what you like. They know how to put in your face what you like, and they're gonna get you to spend that money if you don't have self-discipline when it comes to your spending habits. Because you're gonna feel like every time you turn around, I feel like I gotta have it. That's beautiful. I like that's hot. That's this. Wow, so I can show it off. Yeah, you're gonna look good showing it off. Meanwhile, the credit card company is again sucking you dry, draining every dollar of your money. Now, every time you get up and go to work, every time you get your paycheck, everybody else is getting more of your money than you are, by far. You are working for everybody else, and you don't even realize. And yeah, we all in a form of working for slavery to some extent. I feel like it's a level of slavery, but we're getting paid for your services, so I don't look at it as slavery. But when you start to get into all of this, I want this, mine, and now you ran up all of this debt. And then if you really start to look at the things that you purchased and the things that you spent the money on and the debt that you had, what you gotten out of it really, was it really worth all of your time, effort, and money that you spent for it? I mean, really think about it, because the most valuable thing you have is your time. The most valuable thing you have is your time. That's your most valuable thing. So is all of these things worth that much of your time? That's what you got to look at. Do you invest in stocks and crypto? Yes, I do, Mark. That is all I do. I ain't gonna say that's all I do, because I work and I do everything else. But yes, I do. I vote. I mean, I invest heavily on the regular stocks. Most of my stocks are dividend stocks. Most of my stocks are dividend stocks. Yeah, you do. Just, do me a favor and make sure you behave with it. Most of my stocks are dividend stocks. I do have some growth stocks where they're highly, highly risked, and I do have money invested in crypto. Yes, and I agree. Listen, I think that the stock, when it comes to using your credit card, you have to be very, very disciplined. Like I said, don't go spending more than you have. Don't go wasting money in stuff that you can't afford to buy. Be mindful of how you spend your money. And don't get me wrong, my thing is this: The biggest thing I always tell people is look at assets and look at liabilities. Look at assets and look at you're in XRP. Okay, cool. Look at assets and look at liabilities, right? If you're accumulating a whole bunch of liabilities, it's going to take and less assets, you're going to have financial problems. It's a guarantee. Listen to what I'm trying to tell you. It's a guarantee. If you accumulate a whole lot of liabilities and less assets, you're going to have financial problems. That's just the way it is. Meaning, if all you have is a bunch of stuff that costs you money, and you don't have enough assets to make you more than that money, then the cost is always going to eat up the money that comes in. So when I go and I invest, my reason for investing is to accumulate more assets. Meaning I have the shares that I own and the stocks and companies that I buy into are assets to me. Why? Because they make me money. They make me money. Therefore, I can use that as a means of maximizing my cost of making sure I have more money than the cost of my living going out. That's it. When I decided to buy property and rent it out, that was an asset to me. And then making sure that you have more assets than liabilities. This is the reason why the rich never get broke. And when I say rich, I'm talking about mindset rich, and they got the wealth to back that up. I'm not talking about somebody who just came into a lot of money, don't know how to handle it, and went out there and wasted it because they didn't actually realize what they had. So there are people that come into a lot of money, and you look a year later, they broke, or 2 years later, or whatever the time period. Why? Because they did not really look at what they had in their hand at the time that they had. They did not look at the money that they had and the time that they had it and made sure that that money was going to keep them financially stable for the rest of their life. That's the reason why every time I get a little bit of money, I don't care if it's $1, $2, and I say, okay, I ain't got nothing to do with this money, it's going to get invested. It's just going to get invested. It's going to get invested. The reason why it's going to get invested is because that's how I offset the cost of my living. That's how I do it. And no matter what, these expenses, some things that come along in your life, you're gonna have to do that anyway. If you own a car, if you haven't paid for the car straight out, you're gonna have to pay that car note. That's gonna be interest on that car note. You're gonna have to put gas in that car. That's gonna be gasoline costs. You're gonna have to do all of this other stuff, repairs and everything. Now, if you have money invested in the things that you expend out, you'll get some of that back. My point is this: AutoZone, I have stock in. O'Reilly, I think it is, I have stock in. Sunoco, ExxonMobil, Shell, all of these gas fuel companies, I have stock in. Every last one of these companies pay out a form of dividend. I have stock in the car companies and all across the board too. Why? Because they pay out a form of dividend. So my expenses that are going out to some of these places is coming back to my investments in the form of a dividend. And if the more you keep doing that, the more that starts to come in and the less starts to go out. Why? Because now you accumulated so much in investments that you can't go broke because way more is coming in and less is going out. But no matter how many times you try to say that to people, they're not understanding the concept. They keep trying to act like, oh, the rich is controlling everything. Yeah, because they're very disciplined with their money. And I'm not saying all rich people don't do slick stuff, but I'm trying to tell you that this door is open for anyone that's willing to sacrifice it long enough and hard enough and enough to get to that point where they've all said that they end up putting themselves on the opposite side of this fight, financially wise. All right, so here's my point to Jerome Powell. And I'm going to tell you like this. None of this makes Trump, honestly, Mark, none of this makes Trump look bad. And I'm explaining to you why it doesn't make Trump look bad. It actually makes Trump look like he's a lot more smarter than even I already gave him credit for. He's a lot more. And I'm explaining to you why you can't pay attention to everything that the Fed say. The one thing that the Fed tried to undermine or not really say is people's income, right? People's income since Trump been in office has exceeded inflation. Now, yes, we were in my opinion, in a recession. Flat out, we were, because the recession was created because of all of that money that the government kept putting out, which caused the Fed to have to turn around and reverse course, raise interest rates so they can drain all this money out of the economy and make companies have to compete for your dollar again, because they gave them a free ride. Money was coming easy. Everybody was spending and wasting money. They thought that was the way life was supposed to be, and it's not. And what it did was it created a bad environment. Now we have a stable environment, meaning that, again, when you see this, like I said, the one thing you can't do is determine the whole economy based on the stock market. It does have an element of it that is affected by the total economy, but it's not the total economy. How I always tell people is that look out in the real world. That's what you do. Look at what you see people doing, right? Look at what you see people spending, how much disposable income that they have. Disposable income, when people start to vacation more, when people start to go out to eat more in the restaurants and stuff like that more, that means that they have more disposable income. That means that things are getting better financially. Does that mean for everybody? No. That just means for a lot of people, things are getting better financially. I have yet to see restaurants the whole time be crowded anymore. Now, recently, a friend of mine said that they had to actually wait for a while to get in a popular restaurant, which they haven't had to do that in a couple of years. In some years. They had to wait. And they was like, man, I almost forgot that we did this before. That was a clear sign to me that people have a little bit more than they used to have. Gas prices coming down helps people financially. Freezing credit card interest rates helps people financially. Don't put these tariffs in there so that you can now smartly lower the taxes for everybody else, working class citizens, because now you're making corporate these companies and businesses and overseas and stuff pay the tariffs, as opposed to draining American citizens for taxes. Now you can lower taxes for the citizens, which again puts more money back into their pocket. That means that you get to choose how you spend your money, because now your take-home pay, your expenses are starting to lower slightly. Your take-home pay starts to be a little bit more, and that's how you drive an economy. And that's a stable economy. Why? Because people have more to work with. And now if they're responsible with the extra that they're starting to see every day and clearing up some debts, clearing up some problems, but most people are not going to do that. And I'm going to be honest, most people are not going to do that. They're going to go out there and they're going to have fun and they're going to have a good time. They're going to go get some rims. They're going to go get some stereos. They're going to go buy some cars. They're going to run up the debt. They're going to do everything opposite of what they said they was going to do when all of this happened. The vast majority of people do not say that they don't do what they say in their head when it comes to financial discipline. The minute I can't count how many times I see people that say, man, when I get some money, I'm gonna do this. When I get some money, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get some money, I'm gonna do this. And when they get the money, they do the very opposite. They go spend, put themselves right back into a financial situation, and now they're emotionally scrambling, trying to get out of it again. And no matter how many times they still don't learn from it, they still go back out and put themselves right back into the same situation, because they haven't they know it here, but they haven't disciplined it they haven't applied it to their everyday life. It's one thing to know how to do something. It's another thing to apply it to your everyday life. Because being an investor or being someone that, especially when you don't have a whole lot to work with, it requires extreme discipline to stick to it, because you're trying to avoid all of the stuff that happens in your life on a regular basis. You're trying to hope that it don't affect your investments, at least until your investments get to the point where it's sustaining your lifestyle, along with how you work and earn your living every single day. So my thing is just with the credit card debt, if you got credit card debt, and when this thing goes into effect, I would suggest that if you struggling, go hard on them credit cards. But if you don't have a lot and you don't have a whole lot of space, whatever payment that you make, no matter how far that credit card debt bill goes down, stick to the payment you was already making. If it was $200 a month, keep paying $200 until it's gone. Now, if you see room to do more, do more. But stick to it. When I had a good chunk around credit card debt that I wanted to get rid of, I never changed the payment. I just stuck to the same payment. I said, okay, if I'm paying $225, I'm gonna always pay $225. You know, I've never paid the actual payment. I've always paid more when it was. Now than what the actual payment was at the time. But no matter how many times that credit card bill went down, I kept paying what I started out paying. Sometimes I'll put a little bit more, but I never went less. I was like, oh, okay. And then next thing you know, bam, credit card payment gone. Bill is gone. Now, there was a time where it got so low, I was like, nope, I have to sacrifice this whole thing, get rid of it, it's gone. Now, what I did once that's done, I go look at the next one, the next cheapest one. I take maybe not all of that money because I wanted a little bit more money for other things, investment. So let's say I was paying $200 there. Then I say, okay, I'm going to take another $100. I'm going to store that. The other 100, I'm going to apply it to the next bill and help bring that one down faster. And I stick to that payment. Now, if you had another one, when you kill that one, you take some of that money and the other money that you was already paying on the third one, you take that money and you start applying it to that bill as much as you can, and that way you bring it down fast. And honestly speaking, if you budget yourself that way, and yeah, it's still going to take a while to get out of that situation, but guess what? You'll start seeing light at the end of the tunnel, and it will keep you motivated. You just got to stay motivated. I've seen people get in debt, and listen, if you come into some money, get out of that credit card debt. Get out of it. Don't try to wait out that 10 months, that whole year that Trump is doing. If it's 10%, get out of it. If it means you have to go broke to get rid of it, get rid of it. Believe me when I tell you, when you out of credit card debt, it frees up your lifestyle. And then do everything you can do to never get that pace in that position again. Because the reason why credit card works so bad easily, because it's not money coming out your pocket at the moment. You get to buy something right at the moment. Don't take no money out your pocket. And then you got, when it's all said and done, you own the precept, whatever it is you bought, you got it. And now you got to face the debt. And when you start looking at what you bought for the credit card and the amount of interest that they're making up the credit card, the item that you bought was nowhere near worth that. But in the moment, you didn't even think that far into it. If I went and bought, let's say a TV, and I went and put it on a credit card, I paid $700 for this TV. Put it on a credit card. All right, payment's going to be $30 a month. That ain't nothing. That's only $30 a month. That ain't nothing. That's what you're going to say. It happens every single time. That ain't nothing. You pay $30 on that $700 TV, $25 went to the interest. $5 went to the bill, to the debt. Pay the next one, $30. $25 went to the interest. $5 went to the bill. Let's just say for a year you did that, right? And 1 year, only $60 went to your actual bill. Your $700 bill that you got, your TV that you bought for $700, in 1 year, only $60 went to the actual debt. And the rest of that money went to profit for your credit card companies. By the time you pay, like Joyce said, the 10 years, you have probably paid $2,500 to $3,000 for a $700 TV. Maybe more. I don't even know. I'm doing head math, not real math. So again, now here's the thing. Once you've had that TV for the time that you have that TV, yes, it's entertainment for you to watch TV at home and all that. I get all that. But you will never be able to sell that TV for nowhere near that. So you not only spent $2,500 for a $700 TV, and I'm just using off the head numbers, you will never be able to get that $2,500 for that TV. You can't even get $500. You can't even get $300 for that TV. At most, you might get $100, depending on how old it is. And you might not be able to get that. So again, I say, was the item that you bought is nowhere near worth the amount of money that you're going to spend in credit card interest for the items that you bought. But because they know most people are not disciplined with their spending habits, they know that most people are impulsive, are going to go do it. They know that most people are just going to jump out there. I want it now, and I want it now. Gotcha. And the biggest scam is the no payment, no interest. That's how they really get you. Because they know most people going to ride it out. Oh, I had this TV for, I ain't got no payment, no interest. But what they tell you is they ain't stopping it. The interest is accruing the whole time. The whole time that interest is accruing. And as soon as it's time to start making that payment, all of that interest is slapped on the back end of that bill. Exactly, Joyce. You're absolutely right. They say a whole year with no interest, no payment, you better pay that sucker off in a year. Because the minute that thing come back around, they're going to slap you with all of that interest that been chewing the whole time, and you're going to have to pay all that. So now that $700 just got slapped with another $300 to $400 on top of that. Now you're going to pay interest on $1,100 as opposed to $700. Why? Because you didn't pay no interest. You didn't pay. They said no payment, no interest. You just took the no payment part. You forgot that the interest is there. You're just not going to pay it at that moment. See, you didn't get the lingo. No payment, no interest does not mean you're not being charged interest. It just means that at the moment, for 12 months, you don't have to pay us anything. We'll wait for it. We'll wait for it. And I want to get back to this. Try to pay zero interest. My thing is this. It's in the fine print. Yeah. And Joyce, I'm quite sure you know, like I know, people don't read fine print. They just don't. They give me right now. Right? Give me right now. That's it. They don't read it. This guy needs a mental health check. I don't know if you talk about me, which I might. I don't know. Right. And give you all of this lingo information that the average person is not even going to read it, nor are they going to pay it any attention. And if they did start out to read it, 9 times out of 10, before they get to past the first page, they're like, this is too much. Just like when they go get an auto loan, just like when they go get a mortgage, they give you all this stuff to sign, but you ain't reading the details. Most people don't read the detail. I'm not saying everybody, because a lot of people do read the details. But most people don't read the details. They just sign. Sign. I just want to get this over with. Sign. Get out of here and drive my car, whatever it is. I'm signing. I'm getting. You don't read it. And I mean, this person, Ryan, is trying to say Republicans don't read. Well, here's the thing. That ain't got nothing to do with Democrat, Republican. That has something to do with reading or not. So you're not even making sense. I know you're always trying to point out Republican, Democrat, because y'all like to fight divisiveness. But my thing is this. Most of the people that have the worst debt are Democratic voters. And I know you don't get that part, but they do. Most of the people that are in financial dire are Democratic voters. Because they ones usually fall into that trap because the Democrats don't look out for their voters. Because if the Democrats cared enough about their voters, they would have told their voters that when Trump said this is a good time to buy, they'd have told their voters to buy. If the Democrats was looking out for their voters, they would have said, right, they would have been highlighting the fact that they're freezing this interest rates to 10% and told their voters to go ahead, make sure y'all take advantage of this moment because this is a good moment for you to be able to clear up some debt. But they're not doing that. They're still out there trying to push all the noise so you be distracted and don't take advantage of the stuff that the Trump administration is currently doing. Why? So you're going to end up on the worst end of the stick. Why? Because if you do actually take advantage of it, what's going to happen is you might become more financially independent. That's not what Democrats want. Democrats want you to stay under their thumb of power. That's why they offer you welfare and all this other stuff and destruction and murder and killing so that they can stay under you can be under the thumb of their power. They don't want you liberated. That's why they won't tell you that. That's why they want you to pay attention to the noise and all this other stuff. They don't want you to pay attention to being financially wise and being financially responsible. They want you to stay under the noise so that you don't ever get out of the mindset of their control. Mark, what's going on? What's going on? God bless you. Welcome in. Yeah, you know what, Mark? I agree with you when it comes to mandatory ID at the poll. But I'm gonna tell you something. I think we need to go a step further. In my opinion, you need proof of citizenship. And the reason why I say you need proof of citizenship is because a lot of these legal immigrants got ID now. They got state issued ID, and they still are voting in our system, and they shouldn't be. But I know that they're working on eliminating it. I mean, they're working on trying to fix that problem, but until then, we don't know. Yeah, I listen, Joyce. I agree with that. Me personally, I think, and I'm not saying that I'm right about this part, but I think we should have a consumption tax, and not only a consumption tax. I don't agree with the income tax. I think the IRS in its current form should be done away with. I think that we should all be paying a very small consumption tax. It should never change percentage-wise. It should never be able to increase the consumption tax. It should never be voted on again. It should never be. We should have one set consumption tax, and rather whatever you buy and sell goods, you pay that one tax on that time every time transactions are made, and it's a done deal. We should do away with all this other stuff that we're doing. And if the government can't run off of the consumption tax, then that's on the government, not on the citizens. That's just my opinion. Birth certificates at the poll. Yeah, I agree with that one. They probably will start making up fake ones, but I get it, man. We do have to do something about this voting system. And, especially when you see all of the corruption and all of the voting stuffing that was done in 2020. It's so massive, it ain't funny. Yeah, I agree with you, Mark. Yeah, I mean, we're getting a lot of money on the tariffs. Right. And this is where, Joyce, I said the government has been more irresponsible financially than anybody. The government is the most irresponsible people ever. And my thing is this. So when they start talking about giving the American citizens financial advice and stuff, and they say, oh, we got financial advisors in the government, and this person is, shut up. All of y'all politicians and all the people that work around y'all and all y'all financial analysts, shut up. Because none of y'all, how do y'all listen to these people and all of these government people and all of these financial analysts that they use when we're looking at a $37 trillion debt? When you're looking at a $37 trillion deficit in the United States of America, I don't give a damn what none of y'all say. I don't care about the analysts and all of the other stuff and the so-called professionals that y'all getting y'all advice from. The middle finger to all of y'all. Your record shows y'all don't know what y'all doing. $37 trillion debt tells me y'all don't know what you're doing. I don't want to hear what y'all got to say. I don't even listen to them because to me, you're not making sense. The proof is in the evidence. And if you got that much debt as a country and all of y'all are there trying to analyze and say y'all know what y'all doing, this don't even make sense to me. Why would I listen to y'all? Shut up. Get a life. Your daughter smells like lubricated McDonald's. And your mother's vagina smells like my penis. Yeah, I agree with limited terms too, Mark. I do. We need to do away with it. My opinion, 6 years. Now, that might vary from person to person. In my opinion, 6 years. I don't even want them to have 8 years. I think all people in Congress, 6 years, gone. Because you know what's funny, and I'm going to point to what Mark is saying in this one. When you start to look at all of these politicians, when they first got in office and how they used to talk, it is a vast difference later in life when they got in office. Everything that you see Trump is doing in office, this is all what they all talked about. They all were saying this. All of them were saying this then. But because of corruption, the conversation about how it's supposed to go started change. So that tells you a lot of them might have started out right, but corruption got to them, and guess what? They start shifting. It's rare for somebody to go in there and stay on point. Yes, now that's a big one, Mark. You're absolutely right. I don't think nobody in America should be able to run for any type of office. And he's saying Congress. I'm saying any office, unless you're American bred. That's it. Unless you are in-home American bred citizen. I don't want nobody in office because that's a problem. So I agree with Mark with that one. You're right. I believe says socialism is great until you run out of other people's money. Yep. And Reagan was telling you the truth when he said it. Reagan was telling the truth when he said it. He said only the government can cause inflation. And we saw that under the Biden administration when they started spending all that money. That was the cause of inflation. Now the Feds had to raise interest rate, drain the economy, all of that money, boom, disappear, and now you have to compete for the dollar, which is the way it's supposed to be anyway. Because if you don't have to compete for American dollar, what gives it its value? And listen, I think Reagan, I was very young when Reagan was in office. And so I didn't grow up old enough to be able to appreciate the type of person Reagan was. And as I got older, I realized that he actually, because when I grew up, everybody said Reagan was the worst. Understand, I grew up in the city of Philadelphia, right? I grew up in a dominantly black community. And all I ever heard about Reagan was he was a bad president. That's it. I never heard anything else other than he was a bad president. And I don't know why. I was young. I was a kid. I didn't understand what was going on. So when someone said it to me, I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I didn't take nothing serious about it. It's just what I heard, not in the conversation, just from other people talking. I wasn't in the conversation, just what I heard from other people talking. So it wasn't until I started really deep diving into politics that I understood Reagan was actually a good president. He was very smart and he really cared about the people. Was he perfect? No. Did he make some bad choices here and there? Yeah. But overall, Reagan actually was doing a lot of the right things by the country. Reagan was also doing the right thing by the country. But I also did not vote for Obama. Me neither. Y'all, I'm going to run a commercial for 30 seconds, y'all. Don't go nowhere. Stay in here because I want to get back to the Obama conversation that Mark said. So hang in there for 30 seconds. Please check out top to bottom commercial, and I'll be right back in 30 seconds. We're not going nowhere. The show going to keep going.
Fellas, ladies, you looking for lotions? You're looking for beard oils? But unfortunately, everything you get from mainstream got chemicals in it, and it's probably killing you? No problem. We got you. Go check out my people from top to bottom hair and skincare. That's top to bottom hair and skincare. www.top2bottom, BOTTU. The U is for unique, M.com. Tell them I sent you.
Hey, welcome back. Thank y'all for checking out the commercial. Thank y'all for checking, and make sure y'all check out Top to Bottom Hair and Skincare. The link to the website is right on here. They make hair care, skincare products. I use it. I use their skincare product, their body wash, the deodorant, their hair care products. And if you use OG Network 26, that's OG Network 26, you get a 15% discount on all your purchases of $35 or more. And guess what, y'all? They're an American-made company. And with that said, now we're going to get into the Obama conversation. I didn't vote for Obama neither. Just so you know, Mark, if you're still in the building, I did not vote for Obama neither. Now, why didn't I vote for Obama? There was one reason and one reason only. I did not know what Obama was. I didn't know all of this stuff that I know now. But I'm talking about at the moment that Obama was running for president. Why I did not vote for Obama is because he picked Joe Biden. That was a deal breaker for me. The deal breaker for me when Obama was he picked Joe Biden as his running mate. And I know that Joe Biden, as it relates to the black community, was on a relentless attack to go after him. Joe Biden was one of the worst things that ever happened to black men in America, because he was relentless in his decision making. He was literally targeting black men and black communities, trying to destroy their life. And that's why he was trying to write all of these crime bills and stuff. So for me personally, when he picked Joe Biden, it was a wrap for me. I was like, nah, I know who this man is. And that's why it did not make sense to me why Obama picked him as his running mate. When I look back, I realized Obama didn't have a choice in that. He was told who was going to be his running mate. He didn't have a choice. That's why he got up there and he apologized and said, told the people, we got to forget the past. He was trying to get people to forget the past of what Joe Biden was. And guess what? A lot of black people, unfortunately, in America fell for it, to the point where we actually voted for him. Now, I didn't vote for him. I didn't vote for Obama, and then neither did I vote for Joe Biden. But we literally voted him back in office after all of the relentlessness that Joe Biden was doing to go after the black community, mostly black men. He was relentless in his pursuit of black men and destroying their lives. And the fact that Obama picked him as a running mate, being a black man, so-called, in America, tells me everything. It did not make logical sense to me. Why would you pick somebody who can't stand black people, who hate black people to no end, who is relentlessly trying to destroy the black community, especially black men? Why would you pick him as your side-by-side running mate? Did not make sense to me at all. Wow. Thanks, man. Thanks for it. Yes, thanks about that. Luna, thank you for the compliment about the firearms. Your dad voted for Carter. Yeah, like I said, I was young then, so I really didn't know a lot. And don't get me wrong. Judge Joe Brown hates Biden. And now there's a reason why he hate Obama. I mean, hate Biden. And there's a reason why. Judge Joe Brown is a judge. I mean, and he's been around for quite a while, and he's a very wise man. And believe me when I tell you that Obama could have never gotten my vote. And my thing is, my father voted for the Obama, but if my father knew what he was voting for at the time he voted, he definitely wouldn't have voted for Obama. Unfortunately, my dad is no longer here, but when he did vote, he was so happy that Obama was a black man and we had our first black president, and that was a life changer for my father. But if my father would have known what Obama really was, he would have never voted for him. I know my father very well, and I knew he wouldn't have. Yeah, he did. Yes, you know what? I have to agree with you. 2784. I have to agree with you with that. I don't like Obama. Now, here's the thing. I didn't vote for him, but I'm gonna tell you, when he was going after trying to make, when he threatened the school systems, that if they don't follow suit with these boys being able to go in girls' bathroom and stuff like that, I was really, really done. I was like, oh, hell no. And in my opinion, he was, they set, honestly speaking, they set the country back a whole lot, I suppose, as it relates to us coming together as different walks of life, melanated, non-melanated, Hispanic, Chinese Americans in general. I think they set us back and put us back into that racial divide stuff that we need to still, and in my opinion, we need to still get away from. I like Judge Mathis. Yeah, I like Judge Mathis. He was funny. He's very funny. Yeah, I'm not too sure what you're trying to say with that, but I'll move on. Yeah, I remember when Biden ran, and I would have never voted for Biden. I'm sorry, there is nothing that Joe Biden could have done for me. Yeah, he did. And Mark, you're not lying. Further down in my YouTube page, you'll find Biden saying the same thing about people at 7-Eleven. Yeah, he did. I mean, he just like he said, he learned about roaches from black people. Like all black people got roaches in their house. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, and I agree. And my thing is this is that I don't, I think everybody in America has a right to choose which side they want to be first voting wise. And the sad part about it is that I don't even know if I ever thought that the Democrat, listen, I wrote a Democrat the vast majority of my life. I did not realize then, I don't think the Democratic Party was that bad. But the more I get older, I realize, listen, and you know what, but I'm going to tell you what bugs me about the Republican Party. Now, Democrats have become trash, and more trash. But there's one thing that starts to get under my skin as it relates to Republican. They're too damn soft. That's the one thing I do not. That's the one thing that is starting to under my skin when it comes to Republicans. Is y'all sit back and y'all too soft and y'all letting these politicians do away with stuff. I don't want to hear it no more. Put these fools in jail. That's where I'm at with that. What's up, Sean? How you doing? God bless you. Welcome in. Please hit the like button. Appreciate you very, very much. Appreciate you. Appreciate you very, very much, Sean. Appreciate you, man. And hopefully business is doing well for you, brother. Hopefully business is doing well for you. Yeah, he did. Oh man, Sean. If anybody knew it, well, for y'all that don't know, Sean has his own business and he does. He comes to people's property and remove poop, dog poop, and I mean he's the human pooper scooper. But that's why what he says right here is so funny when he says Skid Row. It's more humorous to me. We know what happened to Obama, Chef. We know exactly what happened. Same thing that happened to Hillary and Clinton. The Clintons, I think was it their cook? The Clintons cook. One of them. All of a sudden, stuff happened. Yeah. Oh, okay. Your wife made breakfast, so you'll be back, bro. Well, I'm probably gonna be going by that time anyway, because I'm getting ready to close out the show myself. And one thing I want to say, yeah, I don't think Obama was an American citizen. And I watched that video of how they can prove that his birth certificate was doctored and altered to make it look like he was an American citizen. So I don't think Obama was an American citizen at all, honestly. I think we got scammed in that whole situation, but I don't know what to say. I mean, I'm, you know. Oh, wow. Yeah. Like I said, my dad, if he would have known what Obama, he voted for Obama, but he did not. If he would have known what it was going to become today, he would have never voted for it. And I can say that, I can speak that for my father because I know how my father is. He would have never been okay with what Obama was doing. He would have been pissed off and he would have probably been mad and wishing he never had voted for him. But he didn't know he didn't pay that close attention after the fact to know that what was going on. So it is what it is. And the news has always been biased against Wright and Trump and things like that. So he didn't really get to see the whole insight. And eventually he had passed away. His health wasn't the greatest at that time after the fact anyway. So he would have never. If he would have known what Obama was, he would have never voted for him. Big Mike looks like a linebacker. Yeah. You know what? On the sake of Big Mike looking like a linebacker, and this is the humorous part, and for all these comedians, right, that was talking about Big Mike, or we know as Michelle Obama, right? And here's the thing: I never looked at at her or him or whatever it is as attractive. That's just my personal. I didn't ever look at her that way. But I wonder how many of these comedians that was always talking about she was this nice looking and she was that sexy and this and that and all these remarks that they publicly made about her physical being, when they was watching that Ellen show and they seen that the penis floating around and they seen that penis down there, the print, I wonder what they was thinking then. Because that once you put the words out there, you can't take it back. So did they? I'm just saying. But anyway, just a little bit of humor in there. I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all please hit the like button. Make sure y'all please hit the subscribe button. I appreciate it very, very much. Oh, hold on. What is this person saying? Yeah, listen. When you say free speech, everybody's free speech has been. When the Biden administration was in there, that's when free speech was under attack in America. I don't know about the rest of the world. I'm talking about America. In this country, in America, we fight for free speech, and the reason why how we able to maintain that free speech is them things right behind, taking advantage of the Second Amendment. So, in this country, we have free speech. Now, you should be mindful of whatever you say. There's a good possibility things can come back out of that. But we have free speech. Now, as far as war, there's always wars going on. Now, suppression of free speech, who's suppressing it? Because everybody's saying what they want to say nowadays. Removal of immigrants. You forgot to put in there illegal. Illegal immigrants. That's who's being removed. If you're a legal immigrant, bye-bye. I want you out of here. I am not here to be polite to illegal immigrants. You disrespect my country. You come in here illegal. I want you removed. I am not here to be polite. I'm never going to be polite about that. I look at my house is located in the state of Pennsylvania. State of Pennsylvania is located in the United States of America. That's my home. You disrespect my borders and come across in my land without permission, without being checked and vetted, goodbye. I don't care. I want you out of here. Illegal immigrants. Now, I'm not talking about people who immigrated here the right way, went through the process. They're American citizens. But all these illegal immigrants, I do not feel sorry for them. You at the wrong page for looking for sympathy. You're not going to get it here. Ron's opinion don't matter. My opinion is they need to go and collect them all and get them up out of here. I don't want them here. I'm reading a story today where a legal immigrant offed another person. And again, y'all fighting for these murderers over here. That means you don't care about American citizens. All of these illegal immigrants, when they was over here, when they burnt that woman in New York, and they attacked the police, and all of these murders and rapes that have happened on a regular basis by illegal immigrants in this country, but yet you got trifling American citizens fighting for them. Fighting for illegal immigrants who are committing crimes, committing heinous crimes right here in America. So I don't want to hear it. You got the wrong person. I don't care. Goodbye. I want you out of my country. Real talk. You get no sympathy from me. I am too. Very disappointed. It's rare for me because I have to go to an indoor range because of where I live at. It ain't a whole lot of it ain't no outdoor range too close enough to me. But if I had to say, I probably hit the range maybe 4 times a year. I wish I could do more, but it costs too much money, so I ain't built like that. But as often as I can, probably about a good 4 times a year. But when I go to go have fun. So I might go through a whole lot of rounds when I get there. But yeah, I go about 4 times a year. Sometimes more. That's on a minimum. Yeah. See, I don't understand that. I mean, my hope is, and like I said, I'm gonna get out of here soon, but my hope is that maybe there's a whole lot of roundup. Maybe there's a whole lot going on that we don't know. That whole lot of evidence they collected that we don't know about. I really feel like she should have been fired too. I really think she should have been fired too, but I'm not. Like I said, I'm just hoping there's something going on that we don't see, because I know they have even though the Trump administration sometimes put out more than I think they need to put out, but I also think maybe this is something they're just holding back and waiting, and then they're gonna make sure that they have enough evidence. This is my hope. I don't know for sure, but this is just my hope that there's a good reason why she hasn't lost her job yet. I'm hoping that they literally are just collecting up and round up all of the stuff that they need to round up, and they're going to lower the boom on a whole lot of people. That's my hope. I don't know, but we'll see. What's good, Jordan? How you doing? God bless you. God bless you. I think I know a few people that do have a 300 blackout, and I think they're nice gun. I never actually use them. I don't have a 300 blackout. There might be one, and I'm going to add into my so-called collection there so far. But yeah, mine, I don't have an actual 300 blackout. I have my ARs are the 5.56 and the 458 SOCOM, and I have a couple of shotguns and some handguns, but that's about it. Yeah, I don't think he could handle the heat that I don't think he could handle the pressure that came with all that. Yeah, I do. Listen, 2784. That's one thing I always do is that a lot of it has me concerned too. And the reason why I'm the type of person that, yeah, I do get into politics, but my channel here, I do a lot of other things on my channel that I talk about as it relates to my channel. Just not about my opinion here. This is what I do in the morning time. But we have our Fracker show, which we do Sundays. We have things you need to know, which is like some other group that come in and they talk about things you need to know, things like that. So if you look at my channel as a whole, it changes from very to very different things. But what I always try to do is I try to sit back and try to gather up more information before I speak on the subject, only because I don't want to have to backtrack and say, oh, get caught up in. I agree with you. And I think that the Erica Kirk thing and a lot of this other stuff, that's why sometimes we just have to sit back and observe and gather up as much information as we can before we start to speak on stuff. Because we really don't. There's a lot more that's going on than we know. They're not telling everything. It's just a bullet. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I know. I got a couple of. I got a buddy of mine used to work with. He had a 300 blackout, and he likes it. But I never shot one, and I never handled one, so I don't know. Yeah, I never handled one. Actually, this camera that I'm filming with right now it's an all-in-one this is actually is a computer, an all-in-one computer. So it has the camera, it's a touch screen. It's not even nothing real fancy and stuff like that. So it's just a camera or whatever. It's not really nothing that fancy. I bought this thing. I didn't even pay a lot of money for it because it had all-in-one. I don't have like a computer desk. It's all-in-one, made in one. I think I might have paid about $700 for this thing overall with taxes and stuff, but it does everything that I needed to do. I only use this system for my YouTube channel. I don't use it for anything else. I don't do no research on here. I don't do anything but my channel. But it seemed to be working pretty good, so I like the thing. I hope so, Ghost 1775. I hope so. Oh, okay, cool. Jordan, okay, cool. Yeah, like I said, I never shot one, but my well, the 458 SOCOM is probably more close. Yeah, I'm gonna say maybe a 308. 458 SOCOM. The one that's behind me, one of the ones behind me is a 458 SOCOM. Which is a very fat bullet. That's my favorite. I mean, outside of just using the 12 gauge shotgun, I don't know how anybody can not like a 12 gauge. What's up, Dirty Money? How you doing, Dirty Money? How you doing? But anyway, I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. I really do. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. Yeah, 308 hits different. I don't know if you ever had a 458 SOCOM, but yeah, they got a lot of kick too. But I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. I got to get ready to get up out of here. And I hope and pray that everybody have a blessed, wonderful day. And all y'all know that when it comes to Ron's opinion, don't matter. There's a lot of things I may say that Ron's opinion don't matter. But it's the one opinion that I always say that does matter, and that's having a relationship with Jesus Christ. Outside of anything and everything that we talk about, it's great for conversation. It's great for us to educate and learn from each other. But the one thing that I stand on 100% is having a relationship with Jesus Christ. And if you don't know him, please do me a favor. Get to know who Jesus Christ is. None of us are perfect, but he is. He was a perfect sacrifice for your sin. And there is nothing that you can do in this world and nothing that the world have to offer for you that can replace who he is and what he did for you. And that's real talk. And I'm going to get up out of here. Every single one of y'all have a blessed, wonderful day. I appreciate the conversation. Do a brother a favor. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. And make sure y'all take advantage of that promo code, which is the OG Network 26. That's OG Network 26. That's the promo code. And if you go purchase anything from top to bottom hair and skincare products, they make body wash, deodorant, and they're American-made company. They make candles. They make a whole lot of different items. And the website, the link to the website is right here on this channel. If you go check out their website, they're American-made company. They make hair care products. I use it. They make skincare products. They make it for everybody. It's not because you might see my melanated skin is specifically for me. No, it's for everybody. It's for any and everybody that want to use or try it. But they're American-made company right here in America. If you check out the link to the website, you'll be able to see that they make candles. I got candles that I've gotten from them over and over. I got body wash that I've gotten from them. I got deodorant that I've gotten from them. I got hair care product, which I call Afro Magic, but it's herbal infused butter cream. And I got some skin buttercream cluster that I use on my skin. And they make a lot of other stuff. If you got hair issues where you may have some balding going on and you might you're trying to salvage it, they make a lot of stuff and they will communicate with you and help you through your hair and skincare journey if that need be to also. And I'm getting ready to run a commercial, which is a 30-second commercial, and at that point the show will be over with. But make sure y'all check out Top to Bottom Hair and Skincare. Using promo code OG Network 26, you get a 15% discount on all your purchases. 15% discount on all your purchases of $35 and up. So if you spend $35 and up, you get a 15% discount. And with that said, I'm getting ready to get up out of here. Every single one of y'all have a blessed, wonderful day. I'm out of here. Peace!
Fellas, ladies, you're looking for lotions, you're looking for beard oils, but unfortunately everything you get from mainstream got chemicals in it and it's probably killing you? No problem, we got you. Go check out my people from Top to Bottom Hair and Skincare. That's Top to Bottom Hair and Skincare. www.top2bottom, BOTTU, the U is for unique, M.com. Tell them I sent you.